What is going on, fellas? It's Tech and welcome back to another Dragon Ball video. And in today's video, we're going to be going back and completing a story we started all the way back in 2018. This is Toybo's full original Dragon Ball AF story so far, along with the incomplete chapter that he left off on, as well as a review of a fan-made animation at the end of the battle between Super Saiyan 5 Goku and Xicor by UHG Animation. Just remember that the animation is fan-made and not some secret ending by Toybo. Voice is going to sound a little different because I had different mics throughout the time I was telling this story, but enjoy the story and the short fan animation review at the end, and I will see you all in the next one. This is a story called Dragon Ball AF, and while we have already done a Dragon Ball AF storyline, this one is by Toybo and takes place after the events of GT as well. Before we get into the main part of our story, however, we have to go back in time just a little bit. After Goku defeated Frieza and Planet Namek exploded, Frieza drifted off into the cosmos for some time, but when his army finds him, King Cold is aboard and is shocked to hear that they may have found his son. When they get him back on the ship, he's put into the rejuvenation tank immediately, and then we see King Cold again, but now he has somebody standing beside him. This is when Frieza exclaims how much pain he's in, but he calls this strange person standing next to King Cold his mother. This is the West Kai, and for some reason, she's working with the Frieza Force and appears to have been for quite some time now if Frieza is referring to her as his mother. But when she walks off, she says that she has no need for a son as weak as Frieza. This is when she first takes interest in the Saiyan that was strong enough to defeat her son Frieza, son Goku. Desperate to come in contact with him before King Cold and Frieza do, she heads off in search of Goku. In the present day, we find ourselves at Orange Star University. Gohan has continued his studies and now has become a professor, and ironically enough, he's now teaching Goten. Even though he has never really been too interested in fighting, Goten now goes by the Great Saiyaman alias, proclaiming himself as Great Saiyaman number 3. As he patrols the city, he sees a robbery going on down below, and as we look to see what's happening, it would seem that the old Pilaf gang is back at it again. Before Goten can even step in, however, Oob shows up and handles everything. Disappointed, Goten flies off after the crime has been handled, but off in the distance, 2 Saiyan pods have landed on Earth, and whoever was inside them is already out. This is Xicor, and he claims to be the son of Goku, the mightiest warrior in the universe, and he is accompanied by his mother, the West Kai. Unfortunately for Goten, he's only moments away from encountering these two, and they sense him far before he notices them. Xicor wastes absolutely no time whatsoever and confronts Goten immediately, blasting him away without any hesitation or even so much as a word. Gohan senses this sharp ki spike immediately, but simultaneously he also feels Goten's power drop as well. The city nearby is next to feel the after effects of Xicor's attack as the mere shockwave begins to tear buildings apart. Gohan shows up immediately to see what just happened, but when he gets there, Goten has already been defeated, but fortunately enough, he's still alive. This seems to be just what Xicor was waiting on, however, as now he can finish off both of his brothers at the same time. He appears behind Gohan, who turns around and immediately demands an explanation for why he attacked Goten in this manner. This is when Xicor introduces himself as their brother, and Gohan is speechless. Vegeta and Trunks appear next after sensing this massive energy as well, and Xicor immediately recognizes them as Saiyans also. Confused, Gohan has next to no idea what any of this means or even has to do with them. But with speed able to catch even Gohan and Vegeta off guard, the West Kai appears behind them both, offering to explain what exactly is going on, and what she says is shocking. The West Kai explains that she is in fact a god, as well as Xicor's mother, and son Goku, the same Goku that fathers he and Goten, is Xicor's father as well. Of course, the Z-Fighters find this near impossible to believe, but before they can react, she's back by Xicor's side. Vegeta demands to know what business they have on Earth, and Xicor explains that he is the true heir of Goku, who is the mightiest warrior the universe has ever known, so in his absence, Xicor will rule over this universe in his father's place. Gohan still doesn't believe a word of what he's just heard, and he tells them that his father never ruled over any universe and they don't plan to either. However, the West Kai is determined that they will rule this place, so she tells Xicor to dispose of them. When he starts gathering energy in his hand, everyone gets on guard because of the scale of this attack, but instead of killing them, Xicor unleashes his attack to the side of him, decimating the city and anything that was in his path for miles. Gohan is furious, but when he looks back at Xicor, he has this bloodthirsty look in his eyes now as he says that he's going to make everything and everyone here disappear. Vegeta steps up first, and of course he isn't too fond of hearing about how Goku is the strongest in the universe, so he challenges Xicor, immediately changing into a Super Saiyan 4. He charges in, attacking Xicor head on, but Xicor easily blocks his attack and counters him accordingly. He picks Vegeta up by his head while taunting him and sends him flying with a fierce kick. When Xicor goes to finish Vegeta as well as the Earth, not being able to watch anymore, Gohan transforms into a Super Saiyan 4 as well. He sends a Kamehameha right at Xicor's attack, which still has Vegeta on the receiving end of it, but he's able to knock the blast away before it makes impact with the ground. Xicor isn't finished yet, however, as he appears directly over Vegeta and stomps his head into the ground. He gives Gohan a choice to either watch Vegeta die or come fight him. He crushes Vegeta into the ground even harder, but when he does this, it enrages Trunks to the point where he charges in blindly to defend his father. Trunks, however, is much too inexperienced to fight someone as powerful as Xicor, so he's easily defeated and fairly quickly at that. After being sent into the ground, Trunks is dazed but not too badly injured. When he looks up, however, he's staring right in the hand of Xicor. But at this point, Gohan has had enough, and before Xicor can finish off Trunks, Gohan jumps in and sends him off with an attack. Now, it's just Gohan and Xicor, which is exactly what he wanted, but even though Gohan is in his Super Saiyan 4 form, he eventually gets overpowered by Xicor as well. As the battle between the two sons of Goku rages on, off on the Supreme Kai's planet, Kabuto Kai is busy looking over the Earth, but what he sees in the crystal ball is more shocking to him than the fight itself, as he sees the West Kai who has suddenly appeared on Earth. When the Elder Kai comes over and sees what he's talking about, it is indeed the West Kai. However, this doesn't really make sense to them because all of the other Kais besides Shin were killed by Majin Buu ages prior, or so they thought. Back on the battlegrounds, it would seem that the Z Fighters are all out of options at this point, as not even two Super Saiyan 4s were enough to beat Xicor somehow. Trunks even suggests that Gohan and Vegeta should fuse, but Vegeta confirms that that likely wouldn't work either. The difference between his power level and all of theirs is too large, and right now, it's looking like there really is no hope for them without Goku, and Gohan admits that this time he can't protect the Earth. With the situation reaching high urgency, Kabuto Kai and Elder Kai start on the search for Goku, who is neither in this world nor the next. But this is when it hits the Elder Kai that if Goku left with Shenron, then he must be in a world far beyond that of the realm of the Kaioshin, and when we cut to the next panel, we see Pikkon, who was also brought to this planet, and next to him is Goku. So I'm gonna be honest, out of all of the fan manga that I've come across, Dragon Ball AF is definitely one of my favorites. Xicor, in my opinion, is just the epitome of what a ruthless Saiyan villain should be. With Goku being one of the most powerful warriors to ever exist, it's only right that Xicor should favor some of his power as well. When we last left off, we were introduced to the West Kai, who was thought to have died along with the other Kais when Majin Buu was running loose millions of years ago. But somehow she survived. Previously, she worked with the Frieza Force, even to the point where she apparently mothered Frieza for some time, but once he was defeated by Goku and left for dead in the vacuum of space, the West Kai pronounces him too weak for her to care about, and now she has her sights set on Goku. Years later, when she arrives on Earth for the first time, this is when we get introduced to Xicor, the first Saiyan Kaioshin hybrid we've ever seen. With power great enough to crush not only Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta with ease, but a Super Saiyan 4 Gohan as well, it would seem that in this timeline where Beerus and Whis haven't shown up, the Z-Fighters seem helpless in the face of this new threat, but the search is on for Goku, who seems to be the last hope. But even if they find Goku, with a foe seemingly stronger than all of the last, how will he be enough? Off in a realm out of the jurisdiction of even the Kais themselves, Goku has taken refuge on a planet that has long since been forgotten about, and when we see him, he's training with Pikkon. Now, Pikkon has always been a pretty strong guy, so he's able to keep up with Goku fairly evenly for the most part. Being as competitive as he is, however, as soon as Pikkon starts getting the upper hand on him, Goku turns into this hybrid transformation of a Super Saiyan 3 mixed with a Super Saiyan 4, which is pretty cool because we've never seen the two coincide before. Over on the Grand Kai's planet, he seems to be on the phone with the Elder Kai, who's still looking for Goku, and he says that he's positive that he and Pikkon flew off somewhere with the dragon. This gives Elder Kai all the information he needs to find Goku, so after he's done talking to the Grand Kai, they're ready to go retrieve him. However, just because they now know where Goku is doesn't mean the situation on Earth will come to a halt to wait for him, as Xicor is still tormenting Gohan and Vegeta. This drives the Supreme Kai to make a tough decision, and he decides that the time has now come for him to fight as well, seeing as how he feels that dealing with the West Kaioshin should be his responsibility. When he arrives on Earth, he appears right behind her as she looks on at the fight below. Kabuto Kai immediately demands to know why she's in the world of the living all of a sudden, because she was supposed to have been killed by Majin Buu 5 million years ago. However, she says that obviously she wasn't killed at all, but was instead accidentally left on the brink of death during the rampage. Afterwards, she says that she floated around in space for millions of years, waiting for help to arrive, but no one ever came. For someone as high esteemed as a Kaioshin, she says that being left in agony like that was such a disgrace, but this is when it hit her that power is what really counts for everything. So she says that ever since then, she's been living her life with her sights set on acquiring power so strong that it'll be able to conquer the entire universe. When we cut back to Xicor, it would seem that Gohan has reached the end of the line and is about to be finished off now. But with the power of instant transmission, Kabuto Kai is able to catch Xicor off guard in time to stop him from killing Gohan, and is also able to teleport Gohan away to safety on a cliff a few kilometers away. Kabuto Kai heals Gohan's wounds and he regains his consciousness, but it only takes Xicor a couple of seconds to locate where they are. Kabuto Kai only has a brief moment to try to explain his plan before Xicor arrives before them. Wildly enough, however, his plan includes Gohan fighting Xicor one more time, which is insane to him seeing as how Xicor already wiped the floor with both him and Vegeta. However, Kabuto Kai never said that he needed Gohan to win. He just needs him to distract Xicor, and when Gohan sees the Z-Sword with him, the plan becomes crystal clear: to seal Xicor within the Z-Sword. However, they'll have to set up on the fly as Xicor appears out of nowhere to finish them off. Gohan has no choice but to fight now and transforms back into a Super Saiyan 4 to hold off Xicor for just a few minutes. His crushing power is completely overwhelming to Gohan, but as long as he can survive for now, then they still have a chance. He tosses Xicor into the air, and when he reappears, he's now overhead. Gohan puts all of his energy into a final attack and fires it straight at Xicor with enough power to wipe the earth clean from existence. Xicor takes the attack head on, and when the smoke clears, he's completely fine. Thanks to Gohan though, Kabuto Kai is able to start setting up with the sealing technique with the Z-Sword, but with expending so much energy at once, he can only last so much longer. The Elder Kai is livid that Kabuto Kai would even consider using such a dangerous technique because it's basically a suicide attack. But at this point, Gohan has already been healed once, and Vegeta also states that it doesn't seem wise for him to expend all of his energy at once like that directly after being healed, but at the same time, he also recognizes that this may be some sort of plan. He then gets angry at them for not filling him in on the plan, however, and when he does, He charges in to disrupt their fight, and Vegeta being Vegeta, he launches his most powerful attack, a Final Flash at point blank range in his Super Saiyan 4 form, completely disregarding Gohan, who is in his line of fire as well. And then he fires. Somehow Xicor is able to hold off the blast, but before he can overpower it again, Trunks joins in, appearing next to Gohan, and he fires off an attack in order to help his father as well. Now having to defend off 2 attacks of such large magnitude, it would seem that they're finally pushing Xicor back bit by bit, and seeing this, Gohan is the final to join in, pouring every last bit of his energy into this last attack, and with that, he fires off a Super Kamehameha. Xicor is getting pushed back pretty fiercely at this point, and it seems that this may be the final push that they needed to finally defeat him. The 3 Saiyans have all put their last into this final effort as Gohan pleads to his father, wherever he may be, to please give him the strength and the power he needs to defend this world one more time. The same power that defeated Cell all those years ago. This plea seems to have found its way to Goku somehow, whether it be his fighting instincts or his fatherly intuition, but we can see that he clearly senses a disturbance somewhere as he stands up and faces presumably the direction that Earth would be in, but he says that it's nothing and he continues to gaze into the sky. Back at the battlegrounds, the 3 Saiyans are giving it everything they've got in their last ditch effort to try and defeat Xicor. With one final push, they all surpass their limits even further than what they thought previously, but somehow Xicor is still much more powerful than them, and he surpasses his limits as well as he tosses their attack into the sky. However, they have managed to do something. The extent of their last attack has managed to exhaust Xicor somewhat as we see him clearly drained of energy. It seems like they haven't done much else but anger him, however, because when he looks up, it's clear that he's done entertaining them. Unfortunately, that last attack drained Gohan, Vegeta, and Trunks of all of their energy as we see them fall from the sky one by one and back into their base forms. Before Xicor can finish them off, however, it would seem that Kibito Kai has completed the preparations for the sealing technique, and when he locks on to Xicor, he fires the Divine Sealing Wave. Not knowing anything about this technique or what it is, Xicor is caught off guard completely by it as Kibito Kai raises him into the air, then starts to direct him in the path of the Z-Sword, but with her quick thinking, the West Kai is able to knock the Z-Sword out of the way before the sealing is complete. With their last plan failing miserably, Gohan, Vegeta, Trunks, and Kibito Kai have all exhausted the last of their power, with the most they've managed is being able to catch Xicor off guard. But as things go from bad to worse, Kibito Kai drops dead from the consequences of the sealing technique, and it would appear that time has run out for the Z-Fighters. With Dragon Ball Super Broly having premiered already, I feel like now is a better time than ever to find reasons to talk about him, and coincidentally, we're doing Dragon Ball AF right now. In this story, however, Xicor is the ultimate Saiyan, and when we last left off, he's been completely dominating in his fight against Super Saiyan 4 Gohan and Vegeta. Having no other options, Kibito Kai decides to teleport to Earth in order to help, and after saving Gohan, they're able to push Xicor into a corner somewhat, but in the end, he's still able to overpower them. This gives Kibito Kai his only opportunity to try and seal Xicor within the Z-Sword, but when West Kai intervenes, he misses, and now with Kibito Kai, Gohan, Vegeta, and Trunks defeated, it seems like this may be the end for the Z-Fighters. Gohan is completely exhausted at this point as we see him in his base form, but he is able to take the Z-Sword before Xicor can get to it. He raises it as he prepares to strike Xicor down, but as he lifts it, something prepares to attack Xicor, and before he can react, he gets caught in the sealing technique again. Kibito Kai is still alive, and he and Gohan have managed to catch Xicor off guard again. He's confused because Kibito Kai should have used up all of his power with that last attempt, but when we look again, we see that Dende is behind him, and it would seem that he was able to heal him just in time. As they begin the sealing, Gohan holds the sword overhead, and Kibito tells him to slice straight through Xicor. As he brings the sword down, the West Kai begins to intervene again, but it doesn't look like she's fast enough because when Gohan strikes the sword into the ground, Xicor disappears. Everyone is shocked and in silence now, but when we look at the sword, we see Xicor's face as he's been sealed inside. Kibito Kai breaks the silence, proclaiming that they did it. They were actually able to pull off sealing him away in the Z-Sword. Gohan falls to his knees in exhaustion, not being able to believe that they actually did it either, but it isn't over yet, as now the West Kai has no choice but to finish them herself as she attacks Kibito Kai. Gohan immediately goes to check on him, but when he does, West Kai takes this opportunity to go for Dende. She tosses him away and then she sets her sights on the Z-Sword. She says that with this level of seal, it shouldn't be a problem for her to undo in time. Before she can take it, however, Vegeta steps in the way. Even though he's injured, he goes for the attack on her, but she's ridiculously faster than him. He continues to try and attack her, but she still dodges all of it. This is when she tells Vegeta that it is still 100,000 years too early for him to attempt to kill her, and as she attempts one more strike, she dodges it again and he falls flat on his face. This is when Kibito Kai says that even though she is sunken into evil, she still has her telepathic powers, so the only people that can defeat someone like that are demons or other people that possess the same powers. This means that the only person among them that can defeat her is Kibito Kai, so with the very last bit of his power that he has, he teleports and grabs her from behind. Taking full responsibility of punishing a fellow Kaioshin for her corrupt ways, Kibito Kai sentences her to death, and it would seem that he means to self-destruct here. He says that he leaves the rest of Vegeta and Gohan, then he instant transmissions away, teleporting to a remote planet in the middle of some solar system. The West Kai pleads with him that Kaioshin aren't allowed to self-destruct as it's forbidden by the gods, but he just says farewell, and in a huge burst of light, they both evaporate. The explosion is felt over all of existence as we see Gohan and Vegeta, Piccolo, and even Goku and Pikkon acknowledge what they just felt. Pikkon assumes it to be Earth, but Goku says that there's no way because that explosion was much closer than Earth. All of a sudden, someone appears behind them and offers to explain, and when they turn around, it's Nova Shinron. Making a long story short, he says very bluntly that the Supreme Kai is dead. Back on Earth, Gohan is grieving the loss of their friend, but before they can, the Z-Sword begins to crack. Someone calls out telepathically to them in this moment, and when we cut to the next panel, we see the Elder Kai again, and he explains that somehow the seal is failing. Elder Kai estimates that the seal will last no longer than a month, and then Xicor will be free again. Vegeta immediately understands that all this means, however, is that they have 1 month to surpass him. He then goes up to Gohan and asks him just who was that anyways, as he and Goten are supposed to be the only sons of Goku. Gohan says himself that he doesn't really know either, but then he begins to recall this story that his father told him years ago. He says that Goku told him he actually stopped at another planet before he returned to Earth from Yardrat. He recalls him telling him about a girl he met there named Princess Lila and how she fed him as much food as he could eat. When he fell asleep, we can see here that it looks like she took a blood sample of his, and he says that when he woke up, she was gone. And he says that that pretty much was how he was late arriving to fight Frieza as well. This seems to be when he had his genetic information stolen and how Xicor eventually came to be. After meeting back up with everyone on the Capsule Corp ship, Vegeta explains to everyone about Xicor being freed in 1 month's time, and the feeling is pretty mutual to everyone that they wish Goku was here at a time like this. Vegeta, however, tries to hammer it in their heads that Goku left specifically because he felt like they could handle things from now on, so instead of relying on him to save them, they should try to take some responsibility. When the Elder Kai reaches out again, he says that while they have been looking into all sorts of ideas as well, it looks like they really will have no other choice but to try and seek help from Goku. He says that Goku is now in this place called the Ryoshin Realm. Now, in simpler terms, without going into the long explanation about its exact location, he says that it's the world where Shenron lives. He then goes on to explain how the Dragon Balls work with calling forth the dragons from the Ryoshin realm and so on, and also since both the Dragon Balls and the dragon model are needed in order to call forth the dragon, the evil dragons being born had destroyed the previous dragon model, meaning that Shenron had lost his physical presence in the living world. With that being so, that meant that Shenron couldn't return to the Ryoshin realm since he no longer possessed a vessel, which is where Goku came in. He says that the Dragon Balls are the only way to summon those from the Ryoshin realm, but Gohan says that the Earth's Dragon Balls are probably still in stone form at Dende's place. Vegeta still stands by them not needing Goku to figure out this one for them, and he says that even if they were to revive him, he wouldn't be able to defeat Xicor anyway. However, Elder Kai thinks that since Xicor is Goku's son, then maybe they can solve this misunderstanding in other ways than fighting. However, since Goku has merged with Shenron, he may be able to beat Xicor if this were to result in a fight as well. Legend has it that when mortals and dragons merge, they can obtain power dozens of times greater than before. But there is still the problem of the Dragon Balls being in stone form, which Pan points out. But the Elder Kai points out that there happens to be a method of reviving the Dragon Balls by simultaneously infusing all 7 of them with light energy. He says that the energy necessary can only be produced by a select few races, but fortunately for them, one of them is Saiyans. To be more specific, Super Saiyans. He says that if 7 Super Saiyans simultaneously infuse their energy into the Dragon Balls at the same time, they'll regain their light. However, Trunks points out that they only have 6 Saiyans on Earth at the moment, so it's helpless, and Vegeta also states that Bra and Pan aren't even Super Saiyans yet. Feeling belittled, however, they both stand up in the middle of the plane and showing off just how much they've been training, they both transform into Super Saiyans. Unfortunately, this still doesn't change the fact that they're still one person short. Back in the Ryoshin realm, Goku is talking to the Shadow Dragons who also reside there, and they're informing him on what's been happening down on Earth. Omega Shenron tells him that there's nothing he can do now that he resides here because he can't go back to the living world on his own free will. Since he fused with them, the only way he can return to the living world is if he was summoned, and that means that they will return as well. A flash of light pierces through the building, however, to everyone's surprise, and it seems that it's coming from Porunga's palace. Omega says that it seems Porunga has been summoned to the lower world, and it would appear that the people of Earth are behind this. On New Namek, Porunga has been summoned once again, and the Z-Fighters have already begun making the 3 wishes. The first one being to restore the damage that was dealt to Earth. The second wish was to revive all those that had been killed. They try to bring back Goku with their third wish, however, Porunga says that this is beyond his power. Unfortunately, since they can't wish Goku back with these Dragon Balls, it would seem that they need 7 Super Saiyans after all. But before they give up, Trunks thinks of something. He says that wasn't there another Super Saiyan a long time ago? And then he says that maybe they should revive Broly. Goten thinks he's completely crazy, but Trunks knows that they can handle Broly at this point if they need to. Porunga accepts the wish, but since Broly died on Earth, that's where he'll be revived at as well. So now they have to worry about Broly rampaging the Earth before Xicor even breaks free. Fortunately, Kabuto Kai shows up using instant transmission and opts to bring them back to Earth immediately. And when we cut back to Earth, the legendary Super Saiyan stands once again. This is a story called Dragon Ball AF, and it takes place a few years after GT. When we last left off, the West Kai along with her son Xicor have arrived on Earth. Xicor also proclaims himself to be the son of Goku, and he says that in his father's absence from the living world, he will be the one to rule this dimension. Both Super Saiyan 4 Gohan and Vegeta are severely outmatched by Xicor, so when the guys on Supreme Kai's planet see this, Kabuto Kai decides that it's time for him to step in and fight as well. When he arrives on Earth, he tells Gohan that he needs him to distract Xicor for just a few moments so that he can set up the sealing technique with the Z-Sword. It takes a team of Gohan, Vegeta, and Trunks to be able to hold Xicor off long enough in order for Kabuto Kai to prepare the sealing, but when he's finally sealed, It's revealed that Kabuto Kai's seal is weak and will only be able to contain Xicor for 1 month's time. In this 1 month, the Z-Fighters are attempting to revive Goku with the Dragon Balls, but in order to do so, the Earth's Dragon Balls must regain their light. The only way Elder Kai knows how to restore the Dragon Balls is having 7 Super Saiyans infuse them with their light energy, but since only 6 Saiyans exist on Earth at the time, Goten and Trunks have chosen to revive Broly. When we arrive back on Earth from Namek, we see that Vegeta is the first to encounter Broly. As soon as he sees Vegeta, all of his memories from their last encounter start coming back as we see Broly agonizingly recalling the day he was killed and all the pain he suffered, as Vegeta states as well. Enraged by the thought of Goku and Vegeta, Broly transforms into a Super Saiyan, and the first thing he does is attack Vegeta. Before he can reach him, however, Gotenks arrives and intervenes. Broly has never seen the Saiyan before, so he asks just who this is, but Vegeta figures that the kids would be responsible for something as crazy as this anyway. Broly, however, has no intentions of doing much talking as he tells Gotenks to not interfere, and then he goes to attack him. Gotenks is a Super Saiyan 3 though, so when he transforms, he doesn't really have too much of an issue dodging Broly's attacks. In order to get Broly to help them though, he has to calm him down, so Gotenks uses the Galactic Donuts to restrain him, which doesn't do anything but enrage him even more, but with the level of all of the Z Fighters right now, there's nothing he can do. Over in the realm of the Eternal Dragons, Goku is being informed of the current situation on Earth, and through Porunga's powers, a Super Saiyan from the past has been revived. Omega Shenron says that it seems the Earthlings are trying out the one method of restoring the Dragon Balls. It's at this point that Goku realizes that there's really nothing he can do but wait for the Dragon Balls to be restored. But Omega reminds him that not only will he return when wished back, but they will as well. He then pauses and then goes on to say that while Goku himself can't return to the living world, there is one person there right now that doesn't reside within the Ryoshin realm. This is when they turn their attention to Pikkon, so since Goku can't return to Earth himself, he will go watch over Broly, who can't possibly stay at Capsule Corp the entire time. As we cut back to Earth, Broly, who is chained up at Capsule Corp, goes into another outburst and transforms into his legendary Super Saiyan state, breaking its restraints. Bulma is the first to come see what's happening, but when she enters the room, Broly attacks her. Vegeta of course steps in and he says to Broly, "Hey, I'm the one you want to kill, right?" He tells Broly that if his goal is to kill him, then he needs to get stronger because right now, he couldn't even kill Trunks as he is. Broly snatches away and in a moment of hesitation, he raises his hand to Vegeta, seemingly with the intent to kill him. However, seeing how confident Vegeta is and surely feeling his overwhelming ki, Broly changes his mind and instead just blows a hole in the wall and chooses to run off. Bulma isn't sure that it's the right idea to just let Broly run free like that, but when Trunks enters, he says that they need Broly to revive Goku. Vegeta of course is against the idea of relying on Goku once more, as he previously said, and he tells Trunks to come with him to train in the gravity room. After Broly escapes, he overlooks the city. In his psyche, however, his father still has some form of control over him, as we see Paragus telling him to abandon all thought and just destroy. Before Broly can destroy the city though, someone appears behind him. When Broly turns around, he sees Pikkon for the first time and demands to know who he is, and Pikkon tells him that to make a long story short, they revived Broly in order to help them bring back Goku. Broly is shocked to learn that Goku is no longer in this world, but instead of being without a purpose now, he says that all he has to do at this point is kill Vegeta and then he will be the strongest Saiyan. He says that the first thing he's going to do is destroy this town and kill the Earthlings, but Pikkon says he'll only allow him to do that if he can defeat him. Broly attacks Pikkon without any hesitation, but Pikkon has been training with Goku this whole time, so he's more than able to dodge his attacks with ease. He teleports to a building behind them, and when Broly approaches for another attack, Pikkon grabs his leg and is able to throw him far away so that they can begin their fight away from the city. As Broly and Pikkon engage in battle, Pikkon slowly starts to work on Broly's mind, attempting to pry and find the true source of his pent-up rage. As Pikkon prides harder and harder at the mentality of Broly, the Saiyan starts to be driven a bit crazy at the internal conflict going in within his mind right now, as well as his fight with Pikkon. Even without the mind games, however, Pikkon is still much stronger than Broly at this point in the story, and after some time, we see that Broly has been defeated as he lays on the ground beaten and bruised, and the only question he can think to ask Pikkon is Goku really as strong as him? Pikkon undoubtedly assures him that Goku is much stronger than he is, and this is when Broly says that his only goal is to surpass Goku and Vegeta, and even though he may not be the strongest now, his goal won't change. All of this happened within the month before Xicor's return, and in that time, all of the Z fighters including Goten and Trunks train day in and day out to be able to defend the Earth with or without Goku if it comes to it, as we see even Pan and Broad training as well. Back in the Ryoshin realm, Goku is also training in the form of sparring with Omega Shenron. One of the dragons approaches them and says that all of the conditions have been met for the restoration of the Dragon Balls now, all they have to do is wait. Eventually 1 month's time finally passed and we arrive back at the Z-Sword. Trunks, Vegeta, and Krillin are the first to arrive, and as they do, the sword starts to crack. Vegeta tells Krillin there's pretty much no point in him even showing up, which causes Krillin to ask Trunks why he's so raring all of a sudden. And Trunks tells him that Vegeta trained quite a bit. Krillin's confused because even in 1 month's time you can only do so much training, but this is when Trunks tells Krillin that Dr. Brief was able to build a training room that regulates the flow of time similar to the hyperbolic time chamber. Trunks says that he was able to get an entire year's worth of training, but in regards to Vegeta, he says that his father trained for 5 years. Krillin is taken aback by Vegeta's insanity at this method of training, but this is when the Z-Sword begins to break even more. Within seconds, the hilt completely snaps off, and as the three turn around after feeling an overwhelmingly monstrous ki, Xicor stands before them again.
Shit. Damn it! I may not be trembling, but I probably ought to be. That ki is enormous. Right, Vegeta? Vegeta? Are you finally awake, Xicor? Vegeta says as he walks straight up to their enemy. What was it like to sleep inside that filthy sword? Well, he pokes, provoking Xicor even more. Are you still planning to fight me? That's right, Vegeta says. Got a problem with that? Is this the pride of the royal family? How pathetic. This is gonna feel good, Vegeta says. How about I wipe you out in an instant? Putting you out of your misery is the least I can do. But all of a sudden, appearing behind Xicor. Why, you little... What the... What did you do, Vegeta? You moron! Over here, simpleton, Vegeta says as he appears behind Xicor once more, and he's still only in Super Saiyan.
We counter!
Wait, what exactly is going on here? Xicor got pushed back even though Vegeta's ki is much smaller? You little... I mean, he's a normal Super Saiyan, right? Why isn't he transforming into a stronger Super Saiyan? No, it's something else. Outrageous. Becoming a Super Saiyan? What? You little shit. What are you doing? You're doing something, aren't you? It's just that during my training, I finally realized the technique to fucking kill you. What's he talking about? Krillin keeps asking. Maybe he ascended once more beyond a Super Saiyan 4 or something? Do you think that's it? No. That's not it. At first, that is what he did. Dad searched for a technique to transform beyond Super Saiyan 4. A technique to kill me? If something like that exists, then I'd love for you to show me. I've exceeded you in power and speed, Vegeta replies, and I've obtained stamina. Power that surpasses me? What kind of trick are you trying to pull? Don't you get it? I'll teach you the basics. I am the ultimate physical specimen. My power is unparalleled. That is the utmost load of nonsense.
You cocky bastard! Final Flash!
In the beginning, they kept transforming, but surpassing new levels was too much of a strain. For a Super Saiyan, to sustain balance, the limit is 4. That's what my dad realized. I don't really get it. So what are you saying about how Vegeta is fighting? I'll teach you too. Among Super Saiyans, there are 3 distinguished types. Super Saiyan 4 fundamentally differs from the kind of Saiyans up to that point, Trunks explains. Oh, if I remember correctly, I thought they seemed different, but Krillin says after thinking about Super Saiyan 3 and 4. The one that exhausts physical strength and specializes in an intense rate of speed is Super Saiyan 3, Trunks says. And the one that specializes in stamina and energy is Super Saiyan 4. What? No way. He found a new way to utilize those transformations? Yeah, he's fighting by altering the transformations to be instantaneous. Even Xicor, who is excessively fast, still hasn't noticed. He didn't notice at all. But then there's the one that's been detrimental to the transformations. This one kills your speed, but it specializes in power. The super power type. It's the same type of transformation as Broly. I get it. You've been sneakily transforming. That's right. Who knew you could fight like that? You know, my father is a fighting genius. If there is a weak point, it's only natural for him to try and overcome it, Trunks states. Even so, Dad's strength is that he's trained so diligently. There are 3 different types and one must train for each of them separately. The 3rd level and higher take time and hard work. What's not natural is thinking up stuff like this. 3rd level? Yeah, I guess that's Vegeta for you. At this rate, your fate will soon be in my hands. Xicor would let out a roaring laughter. Is something funny? Have you lost your mind? No. You use the transformation of the 3 types separately. That's burdensome, isn't it? Well then, let me ask you this. Which type of transformation is mine? The speed kind? The power kind? Oh man, this is getting too weird for me. Whichever one you use, I have no weak points. Yeah, you could even call mine the perfect type. What the hell are you trying to say? You don't have a chance anymore. How many times are you going to make me say it? There is no one who can defeat me, Xicor replies. What if I was what you've always wanted to become? What is he saying? What I'm saying is that I'm going to show you overwhelming power that gives night terrors to gods. You're still concealing your true power? Is that what you're trying to say? I'm not hiding anything. I'm in control. What do you mean? I'm dangerous. If I transform, everything will be destroyed. Transform? Did he just say transform? Mother, please permit the transformation. Mother? Mother, Xicor calls out as he tries to sense the West Kai. You don't mind if I transform, right? Wait, why can't I sense my mother's energy? You're just now noticing? Your mommy was killed by Kabuto Kai. What did you say? That can't be. Oh, he doesn't know because he was sealed away. You're a pretty careless guy, you know that? You don't understand. The one I was protecting is already gone. I'd have no regrets whatsoever destroying everything. I will relish in your despair. You're going to regret ever having been born. This is when Xicor lets out a thunderous amount of ki so potent that they have to evacuate the area just for him to transform. Unreal. If he's been concealing his power up until now, then that means... Shit, I've never seen anything like this. His ki is so enormous, I can't fathom the power. Hey Vegeta, what should we do? We're gonna be okay, right? We're not gonna be okay, are we? You gotta be fucking kidding me, Vegeta says to himself. Can I endure this? Father! Vegeta! Are you alright, Vegeta? Krillin asks as he and Trunks go to rescue him. I completely misread him. Is this the body that you wanted? Perfect in every way, Xicor says as he emerges from the crater behind them. To borrow an expression from you guys, this would be Super Saiyan 5. Alright, that's enough. Farewell, you pieces of garbage. Trunks would transform into a Super Saiyan 3, but I think it's safe to say that this isn't gonna do anything. Disappear. Broly? Wait, what? What? What are you doing, Vegeta? I'm supposed to be the one who kills you. Another one of these clowns makes an appearance. Are you the one named Xicor? Majub says as he lands on the battlefield as well. Everyone, leave it up to me now and hurry and get to Kami's lookout. Thanks, Majub. Father, this is dreadful. How could this happen? Please work with us to revive Goku. Broly, come with us. Have your confrontation with my father after. Revive Kakarot? It's okay, I'll give it a shot. Just how strong has he gotten? What's this? Just when I think you insects are multiplying so quickly, there's all this discussion of running away. There will be no escape. Everyone, come on, hurry. So naive. Hold it, someone else says, as it looks like Majub brought another fighter with him as well. Who is it this time? Huh? Could that be? If you want to chase after them, you're gonna have to go through me. Yam Shinhan, as it looks like Yamcha and Tien tried out fusion for the one time. Of course, those idiots, Krillin says. Are you paralyzed with fear? Yam Shinhan says, with Krillin telling him to stop provoking this guy. Xicor, your fight's not with this guy, don't pay any attention to him. If that's the case, then I'll go to you, Party Crasher. This was your great plan to escape? What is it that the Saiyans are gathering up in the skies? Are they preparing to run away from the whole universe? We have a strategy up our sleeves. Alright, how should I kill you? Huh? It appears you can't hold that form for long. The way I am now is enough to handle the likes of you. I told you this was a bad idea. I thought it went reasonably well. We waited for you. Pointless, trying something like this. Alright everybody, grab a Dragon Ball. Father. Broly, you too. This is the only time I will ever work with you. Let's go. Dad, Broly, hurry. Okay everyone, focus your energy into the Dragon Balls. It's no good, the light's not stable. What are you doing? Everything okay? The size of your energy is still exactly the same. Elder Kai? It's the same principle as that fusion you do so much of. Concentrate your energy. A 7-person fusion. Maybe this is a mistake. They say you become so strong, Kakarot. Resurrect already and show yourself before me. Wow. The Dragon Balls came back to life. And then we would head to the Ryoshin realm. Well, seems like we're almost out of time, Omega says to none other than Goku. It's been a long time since you left Earth, hasn't it? That's right. Arise, Eternal Dragon. The sky got dark. We've been summoned. Let's go. Goku? Even all the Kais can be seen cheering for Goku as well as the Eternal Dragon erupts back to life, and out of the Dragon Balls, Shenron is born. What is this? Yes, it worked. What's that? Then out of the sky. What's up, guys? Long time no see. Grandpa, Dad. Everyone is ecstatic to see Goku again, but they have a lot of business to take care of. I know about the situation. The one-star dragon told me. Everyone, thank you for bringing me back. He's really been resurrected. Kakarot, Broly, and Vegeta. I can't thank you guys enough. Don't misunderstand. This was just a way for me to kill you myself. Is that right? It's because I was also considerably cruel. Isn't it as simple as that? Kakarot, If you know the situation, then you know that we don't have time for your idle chit-chat, Vegeta says, with Goku agreeing, and then his plan of action is now to go and meet Super Saiyan 5 Xicor, his third son, himself.
The story of Dragon Ball After, however, continues on as we recall back to a different timeline, just years after the end of GT and Goku's exit from the mortal realm with Shenron. The news of Goku's heroic actions versus the Shadow Dragons has spread far and wide though, as well as news of his disappearance, making this an optimal time for villains to strike now that the Earth's hero is gone. This is when a very unique looking Saiyan arrives on Earth, accompanied by who we later come to find out is the West Kaioshin. Thought to have been murdered by Majin Buu millions of years prior, the West Kai has returned and through very cunning means has birthed the Saiyan who then went on to terrorize the Earth and Z Fighters, Xicor, the third and final son of Goku. Xicor went on to easily eliminate Goten as his first plan of action after arriving on Earth, and when he was confronted by Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, Gohan, and the other Z Fighters, Xicor displayed that his hybrid Saiyan Kaioshin power was far greater than anything they could have ever dreamed of before, easily beyond that of even Omega Shenron. The Z Fighters gave it absolutely everything they had as they battled this new menace, but even with the combined powers of Super Saiyan 4s, it wasn't until Kabuto Kai showed his resolve by arriving on Earth as well to confront the West Kai that they possessed any feasible way to even slow down Xicor. Kabuto Kai arrives with the Z Sword, planning to seal Xicor within it even if it cost him his life, as the Z Fighters attempt to distract him in the meantime. Upon seeing Kabuto Kai and noticing the Z Sword as well, however, the West Kai is able to warn Xicor to evade the attack, but once again, thanks to the resilience of the Z Fighters, he is eventually sealed within the sword. However, the seal is weak due to his immense power and it does begin to crack. In 1 month's time, Xicor would break free of the Z Sword seal as it continued to weaken with every passing day. When he would return, however, Xicor is met by the one being he never expected to see reappear in the mortal realm, Goku, who after sensing Zycor's menacing power, has appeared back on Earth as well. Xicor has heard many tales of his father's power, however, and is already easily above the level of a Super Saiyan 4 as he has displayed in his battles with Vegeta and Gohan. This is when Goku reveals the extent of how far his training has really taken him in the realm of the gods where he resided with Shenron and also Pikkon. Goku goes on to ascend to his version of a Super Saiyan 5 as the others look on in absolute astonishment that Goku has broken even the limits of a Super Saiyan 4 and continues to grow. As the battlefield absolutely trembles under Goku's new power, Xicor also ascends to his full power as well, hoping to combat a pure Super Saiyan 5 as the final battle begins here today thanks to UHG animations. Xicor versus Gohan, Vegeta, and the rest of the Z Fighters has resulted in this final battle here on Earth as both Xicor and Goku charge up to their full power. Goku's Super Saiyan 5 form looks absolutely menacing as he glares at Xicor, who refuses to back down, now displaying a demonic form of Super Saiyan 5 himself and powering up even more. Goku is unfazed by this power up that sends shockwaves and streaks of black lightning across the battlefield though. As Xicor charges towards Goku, he unleashes a barrage of attacks at his father, but Goku, much like when he sparred with Trunks, easily blocks all of Zycor's attacks with a single finger, not moving an inch from where he stands. The West Kai can barely believe what she's witnessing as Goku's power is far beyond that of what they saw from Vegeta and Gohan. Xicor continues to attack as Goku dodges yet another punch, and then the two go on to clash, causing lightning to erupt from their collision. Xicor refuses to back down, assuming he and Goku to be near the same level. However, when he charges at Goku again and his punch is evaded, Goku lands a devastating knee to the gut, stunning Xicor to the core and bringing him to his knees. As Xicor struggles to get to his feet, he loathes about how it's even possible for Goku to have this level of power when he himself thought to be the strongest, even amongst Saiyans in his mind at least. This is when Goku decides to go on the offensive as he flies at a weakened Xicor, and with landing a simple punch, Goku sends Xicor soaring across the sky and into the atmosphere and eventually outer space. Xicor is sent crashing into the moon at blazing speeds, leaving a crater the size of a meteor in his wake as Goku appears in space as well, standing before the moon and his opponent.
Xicor is now extremely injured from Goku's last attack as he lay in the crater on the moon, and this is when Goku begins to prepare his final attack by charging a massive ki blast and aiming it directly down at Xicor. He fires it, eliminating the entire moon in the process and hitting Xicor head on as he writhes in pain from the attack, but even as the debris settles, Goku notices his opponent is nowhere to be found. And right here I want to give huge props to UHG Animations because I'm not sure in particular, but in my opinion it seems like the artwork in this particular video is even better than it usually is. So let me know if you guys feel the same way, but especially his shots of Goku right here are just absolutely incredible. Xicor appears behind Goku just as Goku had been predicting and begins to power up once again, preparing another attack in the hopes of finishing off Goku. As Xicor charges a dark Kamehameha, all of a sudden, he changes his aim from Goku back down to the planet Earth and releases his attack. Goku begins to panic as the attack that was supposed to be meant for him makes his way to the Earth's floor and eventually the core, causing it to explode entirely as the Z-Fighters down on the planet already begin to feel the force of his attack. Goku reappears back on Earth directly in the path of the dark Kamehameha and challenges it with one of his own. Goku's Kamehameha clashes with Xicor's, who has reached the extent of his abilities and just simply pales in comparison to Goku entirely. The Dark Kamehameha as well as Xicor are eventually consumed entirely by Goku's attack, blasting him into oblivion and effectively destroying him forever. As Goku appears before his friends once more, it seems that he's truly become a god now after fusing with Shenron and the Dragon Balls, displaying the true power he's capable of now thanks to Otherworld. The West Kai is taken into custody for the Kais to deal with as her son is defeated once and for all, with the battle ending with peace being restored once more to Universe 7. It seems like the mere existence of Goku himself breeds conflict within the multiverse, as multiple times even, he's seen it best for himself to remain separate from the realm of the living, but evil with his name attached to it still arises. Luckily, however, there will always be good to combat it with or without Goku. Once again, I want to give a huge shout out to UHG Animations for such awesome work and continuously great art.
And that is going to do it for Toybo's original Dragon Ball AF so far. And I have to say so far because anything could happen, but as you guys probably already know, Toyotaro got hired to work on Victory Mission back in what, like 2012, 2013, and then Super came out and the rest is history. So of course, who wouldn't take the opportunity to work for the biggest anime franchise of all time outside of like Pokemon probably, but that's a little bit different. Thank you all so much for watching the complete story of Xicor, the third son of Goku. So far, of course, you know, maybe one day it'll mysteriously come back, or shit, I don't know, maybe I'll just end up writing my own version of an ending for this story. Let me know down below in the comments if you guys would like that. But anyways, have a great day. I really hope you guys enjoyed this story, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye guys.